Well, hello again, YouTube. AJ Shaver here with Shaver Sales. And today on the clearing, we have all four models that Halverson ever offered. We have the 140 HD for heavy duty. We have the 140B, which replaced that 140. We have the last new one ever in existence, a 130, and the 120, which replaced that 130. We'll give you a little sweeping view of what we have going on here. Then I'll do a walk around tutorial on each one and tell you the differences between them and how things upgraded, how things changed, maybe why this one isn't made anymore. Stay tuned. All right, so here we have the HWP 140 HD. Actually, I should back up a little bit and tell you that the first one that we ever had in was back in May of 2015. And you'll see that unit mounted on a New Holland C238 track machine, loading wood into the back of a white mason dump. That was the very first unit we ever got in. It looked very, very similar to this, but that unit was a fixed four-way. And this unit, as you can tell, has been upgraded. It is the adjustable wedge. We do have the six-way in here. And one of the big differences between this unit, the HD, and the B model is there is no internal log length cut guide on that. So that's why we have this little jig set up here on top of our machine, and basically what I'm using this for, it stops the wood early coming in, where the B model actually has a proximity sensor in it that stops the table on the way back to consistently stop the wood every time, so you have a nice even mix of what you have, what you're cutting off there. So I'll give you a little walk around here on this one. You've seen this before, I'm sure, if you've seen the YouTube channel at all. So I'll get in here, we'll show you the saw motor. And originally, there was no sawdust buffer on these, so we put on some little mud flaps. That got updated in the newer designs where that's already on there. So we do have our oiler bottle on the outside, the 120s, it's on the inside. I'll show you the grabber arm here. This seems to be one of the differences between the 140s and the 130 and the 120. The controls on this unit kind of look like a snowplow module that would go underneath the hood on your pickup truck. I have this one stashed away inside the unit, where the new 140Bs have a solid state drive. It's kind of on the inside of the unit, and that also enables it for a plug and play type of option. And we'll do a little walk around here on the 140B. So here we have the HWP 140B. As you can tell, there are a few little redesign marks on it. It does come standard with the adjustable four-way wedge, and from what I understand, the newer ones are actually going to have this little piece of the backbone here taken off. We had this unit in inventory from last year, so this still has the backbone on here. Once you take out the adjustable wedge, then with this piece being gone, now you can cut and split rounds right out the processor without ever having to split it. So if you're working with something that's maybe 4-inch, 6-inch for the outdoor boiler, you can just go ahead and just cut it to length and knock it right out. Same bar, same chain, same Parker saw motor on this. This is the hydraulic equivalent, I believe, to about a 6-horsepower chainsaw. One thing that they did upgrade, there's now a step here with the punched out tread plate. Again, same motor, same bar, same chain. Same oiler outside the unit. And we did update the punched out tread plate here. It was kind of an expanded metal welded onto the other unit. Same design on the grabber arm, the heavy duty welded on cleats, same case. And what I was mentioning before, the computer piece is actually down inside the unit here versus being inside the cab of the machine. So that gives you the plug and play option for the 14-pin adapter. So if you have at least 5 function buttons inside your cab, you can run this on the 14-pin electrical connection. And we just found a Skid Steer Genius connector that goes into the 7-pin Bobcat, so you can run that right off your factory Bobcat controls. So this is the 140B. Same case, same basic design, just a few more bells and whistles. This one does have the internal log length guide. I do have a video out there for that and how to set it up. And it's just an extra proximity sensor that stops the table early on the return, so you get a consistent cut every time. It is set at the factory standard for 16-inch, and it works out pretty well. Like anything, takes a little getting used to, like the controls and whatnot. And next we'll show you the 130. This is the 130. As I said earlier in the introduction, I believe this is the last known new 130 in the US. We had this in inventory from last year. This does have a fixed four-way on it. Even though you see the holes, they are welded fast inside the I-beam. It's just using the same common adjustable wedge from the 140 machines, but this one is welded in there fast, so it is a fixed four-way. There's the 130 logo. It's the same basic body and frame. The metal's a little bit different. It's a little bit thinner in some spots. I think it weighs about 1,200 pounds, where the 140 weighs about 1,600 pounds. One of the noticeable differences between them are the saw motor, the grabber arm, and the internal splitting cylinder is a little bit different. So it's still a bent axis type of motor, and but it is not a Parker saw motor. Same oiler on the outside of the unit, same punched out tread plate, same computer on the inside that enables the 14-pin plug and play. And this is one of the differences here, is the grabber arm. You can see the edges are kind of cut out with the plasma torch versus the heavy-duty cleats that are welded in. The top here on the saw guard is a little bit different. It's got a bent angle that's welded together versus the solid round one like on the 140s. Same proximity sensors. There's a proximity safety sensor that the saw has to be all the way back in the stored position before the table goes forward, and there's one down in the table that it has to be all the way back before the saw bar will engage. The internal splitting cylinder is a regular off-the-shelf cylinder. It does run a little bit slower than the 140s do. The 140s have an oversized bore for a quicker cycle time on them. So this is an HWP 130, the last known new one in the US. Alright, well, if you pay attention to the channel at all, you've already seen a couple of comparison videos, but just wanted to do the 4 in a row. This is the all-new, 1-year-old, I guess I should say, 120. It is completely redesigned from end to end and from top to bottom. The grabber arms are a little bit shorter, a little bit more on a steeper angle. That helps with shipping. We can get 2 of these on a pallet, and it's a lot easier to move around, more freight friendly. You'll see the little splitter trough down here has the punch holes in it, so you can see a little bit more from the cab. The table itself is a lot lower, so that last log cutoff that goes in more or less falls in on a really nice angle where you can manipulate it through pretty easy, versus the drop and tumble in from the 140s. This unit does have the adjustable wedge option, so this is what I was telling you before. That backbone is gone right here, so you can take this head all the way out and just split rounds. The 120 does share the same bar and chain. You still get the about 20-21 inches worth of usable cutting space out of this. The table itself is all redesigned. You can see the arms come in a little bit steeper. The grabber arm is noticeably different here on the 120. See some really big curves that are cut into it. It does not have the heavy welded on teeth like the 140s do. The oiler on this is recessed, and actually while I'm on this side, you'll notice also the saw motor is on the inside of the unit, which makes changing the chain a whole lot easier on this. You just have 2 14mm bolts there, and then your standard flathead screwdriver for chain tension on the inside of the bar. So here's the recessed oiler down inside the punch tread plate. So we have our 120s, our 130s, and our 140s. All right, price-wise, the suggested retail price on the 120 is $8,900. That comes as a standard fixed four-way. As a plug-and-play unit, we do add the adjustable head option, and for those of you that do not have 5 function buttons inside your cab, we also offer the in-cab harness. On this 130, retail was around $13,500. Probably give you a pretty sweet deal on this one since it's the last one in existence, new anyway. 90-day warranty on this. There's also a 90-day warranty on the 120s. The 140B model retails around $17,500 as an adjustable four-way 14-pin connection. And again, if you don't have those 5 function buttons inside the cab, we do have that available in-cab harness for you. And don't know that I really want to sell my original one just because I'm a high mileage kind of guy. You know I've got well over 1,000 cords on this. Really just kind of want to see what happens to it. We bought this one in September of 2016, and so it's made it through 2 good seasons, and now we're into the 3rd season with it, and it's been pretty rock solid. A few little hiccups here and there that we've shown on the channel, and but again, great units, great production. The 140s are about 1 cord to 2 cord an hour, keeping in mind that quantity in equals quantity out. If you're splitting off 4-inch stuff, it's really difficult to get the high cord counts out. But if you get into some 14, 16-inch stuff, it'll really knock out the cord volume. My record's about 3 cords an hour, but we were on all big 16-inch stuff. The 130s were slightly slower, maybe 1 cord to 1.5 cords an hour, and the 120 does offer about 3/4 of a cord to maybe 1.5 cords an hour. It's just a little bit different with the saw motor being on the inside, and the splitting cylinder is a little bit smaller, so you do get a little bit of a drop in the cord count. And as things are getting dark up here on the woodlot, we'll back off here for one more camera shot of all 4 units. And in the background, we do have our AM Machinery log loader dump trailer. That's also available for sale as a dump trailer or an open body forestry trailer. This will probably be the last video that we have the Excursion in the picture. We've got a buyer coming down for that on Sunday morning. Going to be replaced with an F550. Stay tuned for that. Well, as always, thanks for watching. Really appreciate all the different view counts that we've had. If you haven't liked us, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed, click on that. Check us out on Facebook.com as well. Send us an email, give us a phone call. Everything's down in the descriptions below. Hope to hear from you soon. Happy to give you a sales quote. And we do offer wholesale pricing on all of these units, so please give us a call and we will set up a sales quote for you and include shipping. We have gone coast to coast last year, everything from New Jersey all the way out to Washington State, and we even did some down in Texas. So I think we got the lower 48 covered at the moment. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.